In the second series of lectures, what we're going to do is we're going to work more closely to focus on the Greek civilization. It is going to be one of the ones that will be most important for us in the foundation of Western civilization. Not to discount the things that we just did in terms of both Africa and Asia, but now when we're talking about the Greeks, we're going to be back on the mainland in Europe and getting closer to the idea of a fuller Western European civilization. As we do that, we'll look at some of the early foundation civilizations that the Greeks were going to use, including on the island of Crete and on the mainland. We're also going to start to take a look at the concept of political science, right? A polis is a city-state. We're going to take a look at two of the most important Greek city-states in Sparta and in Athens. Each one of them is going to serve as a way for us to understand larger Greek developments, although we will warn you there are lots of different Greek city-states, and we're just going to choose those two as sort of examples. They're the most famous ones. Then, of course, we'll move on to talk about the central challenge. We would not be emulating and thinking about and copying many of the Greek ideas if they had been obliterated by their military enemies in the Persians. We're also going to be talking about what the Greeks do to, in many ways, launch themselves into a civil war. We'll be talking about what's called the Peloponnesian War that will be the ultimate in the idea that the Greeks, even though they share language and history and culture and religion, just can't seem to live with each other, and they in many ways are going to have a large civil war that will weaken them and allow outside forces to come in and invade the famous Greeks. We'll also spend some time talking about some of the more important cultural and linguistic and other elements of Greek society in what's called the Golden Age, essentially the 5th century BCE in our time reckoning. That century, especially in Athens, was a key time for us to take a look at the foundation stones of Greek drama and political science and comedy and architecture and many other the cultural hallmarks of Greek civilization that we still celebrate to this day. We'll also have an opportunity to investigate, at least at a preliminary level, some of the concepts of Greek religion as well as philosophy. Many of the Greek philosophical ideas as well as religious ideas will continue into the civilizations that come after them, and we will see them coming back to us in every shape and way and form you can think of, including in the modern world, the Olympic Games that we celebrate every 4 years. Those, of course, are a Greek invention. We then will move on to the idea that there was an outside power who was able to come in and organize and destroy the Greeks, but not destroy in the sense of obliterate them, destroy the boundaries between them and unify them for a larger purpose, which will be to move on to taking on the Persian Empire. We'll then segue into a conversation about probably one of the most famous of the Greek Macedonian leaders, Alexander the Great. We'll take a look at his accomplishments in terms of his large-scale military campaigns that are going to go from Europe to Asia and into Africa. He will create an empire that stretches from what you know as modern-day Greece all the way to India, and from there back all the way to Egypt. He will then, of course, be the unifying factor as the people who come with him from Greece bring their Hellenistic or Greek-like culture and they spread it to the world. So that when we look at the idea of a unified, large-scale world empire that comes after Alexander, even though it may break into individual political pieces, the overall urban Greek culture is going to maintain itself in these new successor states to Alexander's empire, where the unifying factor is Greeks with Greek language and Greek ideas will become conquering and controlling large sections of Africa, Asia, and later on Europe, and they are going to compare their Greek experience with the local experience and in many ways create essentially what's going to be a veneer, a very thin layer of Greek ideas at the top, imposing itself on many subject peoples around them in their larger empires. And we will close this section with a peek at some of the key philosophies that are very powerful in the time period of about the 3rd century. We're going to be talking about the ideas of Stoicism. We're going to be looking at Epicureanism and skepticism. So as we move forward, please make sure you keep following in your text the reading on this general area of Greece and Hellenistic culture, and do, of course, keep up on your practice questions.